Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Liv.
And this is the Mach-E vlog. But we're not in the Mach-E. What are we in?
We are in the Nissan Leaf. Yay! But not for long. We're saying goodbye. So let's go.
If you haven't followed along, we have a 2012 Nissan Leaf that we've actually just been borrowing from Kyle Connor with Out of Spec. Long story short, he bought like the cheapest used EV he could find, I think off of eBay Motors, as a matter of fact, and it was under $4,000, but the level 2 charger didn't work. And the place to repair it was QC Charge, was out here near us, out here in California. He's in Colorado. So he literally towed it with his Rivian, dropped it off, and we got it over to QC Charge so they could make those repairs for him. But with schedules and everything like that, he didn't need it back right away. It was just like, hey, why don't you guys keep it?
And I was on the phone with Alyssa. This story, I'm like, I can't remember if we've actually told it.
We did.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was on the phone with Alyssa talking about how we weren't sure about what car we could get for me, and couldn't necessarily afford something. And Kyle was driving around in the Twizy, screeched to a halt and was like, you guys can borrow the Leaf. So
we've been borrowing the Leaf. It's been over a year, right?
It's been a year. It was April last year.
Wow.
So sure. Yeah.
So we've had it for a while, and you know, in that time, of course, we have our Mach-E. We've taken that lots of places. We've reviewed cars. We actually have an Audi Q4 e-tron
right
now at the house that we're reviewing. So we want to sort of share like the pros, cons, and like what is it like to live with a 12-year-old used EV with not great range. But we also, before we get into it, we got to say thanks to Kyle, because it's been great having this. Like, it's been really, really nice that he basically used us for storage, and we had a great, vehicle to have for the past year.
It was incredibly generous of him, and it's been super great, and we truly appreciate his viewers and those of you who have asked us how the Leaf is. We've had people ask hey, how's the Leaf doing? So now we get to tell you guys how it's doing, and it's doing great. I'm gonna miss it so much. I love having a little old car, and the range, we've seen a degradation. We've certainly seen a little degradation. I think Kyle was saying 70 miles of range at one point, right?
Well, he was in Colorado, higher altitude, just flat. It doesn't look like we're going up a hill, but we generally are going up and down little hills. So I don't think we necessarily see much degradation. It's just more of where, depends on the day with this car.
Yeah, it really does.
We're at 37 miles of range right now, and it was fully charged when we left the house about 5 miles ago. But it'll fluctuate, and it's sort of it dropped from 49 down to 36. And are we in eco? Yeah, we're in eco. But it'll stay like this for a while.
Oh, and so the Leaf, you go into drive and then you go into eco. So I love that we've had it long enough that it's just automatic that you go into eco.
Do-do.
Yeah, you after you finish your rest and you go eco. But it's always had enough range, because this is what we use for just zooting around town, doing errands or little things, or like we're doing now, we're going to downtown Oceanside, a sort of circuitous route so that we avoid some of the sun, the glare.
Yeah, we got to turn up here, so now we're going to get a bunch of sun. We tried to give you at least the intro without sun glaring at us, but we'll see how it works. We may have to stop.
But it's been perfect for that, for what we use it for.
And you may think we have the Mach-E, we have these other vehicles.
Am I turning here?
Yes.
Okay.
Available. Why would we like this and drive this a lot in the past year? The reason really is it's just sort of you don't have to think about it. Like Liv said, we're going downtown. I don't think that's too bad.
Are you? Are you visible at all?
I think so. So we, going downtown, we don't have to worry about how is the parking, how like, are we going to be parked on a street or whatever? Not that we don't care about this, but it's just sort of like, it doesn't attract attention. You can take it wherever and like nobody cares. So that's why that we've really liked it. Going over to our sister's house in our previous place, there was a bunch of like just street parking. It's small, it's very easy to fit in. I just really like it, and it's sort of like you just hop in and you go.
Yeah. And I drive with my left leg. Probably you guys know that. If you don't, I'm a right leg amputee. I drive with my left leg. The Leaf is not a performance vehicle. It's chill. We could say sluggish, a little slower to respond than the Mach-E, which is actually kind of great for me because I'm driving with my left leg. I have a drop foot on my left leg. Oh, thank you. I was like, yes, my left leg. And you're so good at driving and like navigating while we film, and I'm just like chatting with you guys, and I could like, drive to another country by mistake, which we could in California. But anyways,
not with this. It has to be charged. It doesn't have that much range.
That's true, not with this. So yes, it would be nice if it had more range, and there are multiple times that it would have been nice if we had more range. For those times when we've wanted to go downtown San Diego, that is it 40 miles away? 50 miles?
About 50 miles, 45.
So this is not making it. Even if we charge there, this might not make it.
Yeah, so we can charge it out, of course, but it is CHAdeMO. And as you know, like Electrify America still supports CHAdeMO, but it's usually only one CHAdeMO station, and it's shared on the same base unit that has CCS. So being that chargers are fairly busy around here, we don't want to take it too far, because if we have to charge and we have to go to Electrify America, if that one station is down or somebody's using that one station, it's going to make for a very long trip.
Yeah,
so.
And that's just very stressful. So sure, there are occasions where I wish this car had more range, and this could have been the car that we took downtown to where it's dodgy at parking, or just rougher neighborhoods or whatever. But for what we use it for, it's been wonderful, and it's been a really pleasant car for me personally. I'm gonna be honest, you guys will have to tell us how you feel, but I find driving very expensive cars to be quite stressful. And we've had the most amazing, wonderful opportunity to drive some very expensive cars, which is wonderful, but also really stressful. Like when cars cost more than my first house.
Yeah. Well, and then like with the Mach-E, because our YouTube channel's based off of that, we've always been a bit worried that if it has to go in the shop for an extended period of time because of an accident or something, well, we can't make Mach-E videos if the car's in the shop. And a lot of that
situation we had
is rooted in the fact that a month after we bought our first Mach-E in 2021, we got rear-ended, and everything was so new then. It was still during the remnants of the pandemic, so parts were very hard to come by, and the car was in the shop for 7 weeks, which was really stressful for us because we felt like we can't make any content.
And part of our agreement, okay, we'll get the car because we got monetized, and we're like, at least we'll try pay for the car or help make the payments. Yeah. And then it was like, we're paying for the car and not helping for it either.
And just overall with the range and the performance of the Leaf, I really like having it because it's like a good reminder. Like, it's very easy to hop into these cars that are, as Liv said, can be pretty pricey. Even the Q4 e-tron, it's like a $55,000-$60,000 car, and it has 260 miles of range on this one, I think, around there. It's a good reminder that on many days, like, this is fine. It's like we don't need performance. The Q4 e-tron is 0 to 60 in like about 5 seconds with the new one. But it's like, this is fine. We're not like trying to race anybody at the stoplights. We're not going, but like, 5-10 miles away. So it's a good reminder that transportation is just that. It's transportation.
It's a great reminder, and that the way that you transport yourself, your family, and the way that you want to does not have to be the same as someone else. Getting out of the sun? Oh, shame. It doesn't have to be the same as someone else. And so this is something I feel strongly about. More performance, more power, and more range does not mean better if it's not better for you. So if you're looking into getting an EV, yay, for one, that's awesome. And two, be realistic about what you need, what kind of range you need, what kind of driving you do, what kind of road tripping, what kind of hauling you need to do. And when I say hauling, I mean people, dogs, luggage, whatever. So what suits you, and it doesn't have to be the most powerful thing. For example, the Mach-E does not have the best charging on the market. The 800 volt vehicles, the EV6, the Ioniq 5 have far better charging. For people who might need that, that's great. We don't. That's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am disappointed that we are giving this back because you gotta go. We had plans for this car. We were going to dress it up. Liv was going to do this. She was going to do that. We were going to do like a deep cleaning restoration of it.
Sorry, Kyle. We did not deep clean it. I did just like wipe it down a bit.
So it is disappointing that that we didn't do a lot of those things. A lot of it was just being busy, whatever, having other priorities. I won't say we were busy because we always have time. We just had other priorities. But I think, it's one of the things that we did learn is that the Leaf has a really good following.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of care about the Leaf as far as parts. There's batteries that are you can swap and put in new batteries. I think Kyle is considering that, whether he does it or not.
And they can do that at QC Charge.
But there's a fairly big following of passionate people, and what's been neat is that old adage, like, no one drives a red car until you buy a red car, and then everybody drives a red car.
I don't know that. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's like you notice something because now all of a sudden you're paying attention, and then it's like, wow, everybody has a red. Okay. You're like, yeah. Last week I didn't notice, but now there's tons of red cars.
I did my embarrassing thing. I'm glad that we had the opportunity for this to happen before we gave the Leaf back. I almost got into someone else's Leaf. I did. It was identical burgundy, much better kept Leaf, and Patrick just watched me walk up to it and go to the door.
Yeah.
You didn't say a thing.
Second light, turn right.
Thank you.
What made it even funnier is we were walking past the other Leaf. We were headed to Lowe's, and we saw the couple getting out of the car, and it was like, nice Leaf. And they were like, huh? And we were like, look down there, that's the one we're driving. And they're like, oh, it's identical. Like, ha ha ha. And then we came out of Lowe's, and Liv was walking to their car. I'm like, I'm just going to let her do it. And then she almost tried to get in, and then realized what was going on.
I'm just so used to us being the only burgundy Leaf, you know what I mean?
And then I thought it was funny, so I was laughing. And about that time, we look up and we see the couple there coming back out, so that they got to see the whole thing as well.
I got busted, yeah. So if you've ever done that, if you've ever walked up to someone else's car thinking it was your own car, please let us know in the comments and make me feel better. I wonder if you can see any of the palm trees right now.
I think it happens with Teslas.
Oh, that makes sense.
There's a lot of white Teslas. Yeah, and it just made me, before I wouldn't have noticed Leafs driving around.
I still feel like we have to say leaves.
Leaves.
But it's Leafs.
But it is,
Leafies.
Since we have this, I've been noticing a lot more. By the way, speaking of the cost of things and of cars, we have another video coming out soon on the BMW i4 M50.
Oh, right.
I need to edit that video. It was a great car, like $87,000, and I was looking at the all the options that it had, and it had a blue that was $4,000. The paint job was $4,000
nice
option.
blue, violet blue. Cool.
Very nice, but it made me like, I call it Leaf blue, and people are like, why do you call it Leaf blue? And I'm like, because it costs more than the Leaf that we're driving.
It did. However, to be fair, a lot was done to this. I don't actually know the cost of fixing the level 2 charging, but do you?
The part I think is like $1,500. So not a lot has been done, but yeah.
The work was probably quite a good chunk. So
well, I think that's the part. Well, I think you can get the salvage ones for like $1,000. Like a salvage, and then the one that was put in, I think, was reconditioned, so it's been inspected.
Okay.
So, I don't know. And then I think they did an exchange of like video for labor.
Oh, right, probably. So this wasn't necessarily the exact cost that Kyle paid, $3,000 whatever. And if you do go get a used EV, you might realistically have to put some costs into it to fix it up again. But the main thing is battery has lost range. It was a small battery to begin with. It's like 24 kilowatt hours. But we're at like 78,983 miles. That's a lot.
Which is not a ton, really.
It's a lot for this little thing.
14-year-old car, but yeah, considering the range of this thing, that's not bad. But it also goes to the point. This is not a nice new technology liquid cooled battery, so they're even better nowadays. But it just goes back to the batteries, for the most part, don't just die. Sometimes they do, we know some people that had some issues like that, but for the most part, they just degrade. They age. There's a Cybertruck. I don't know if that'll show up.
No, I'm sure not.
I think it has like Iowa plates on it too.
Oh, maybe. Let's, no, that's a bit bright.
No.
Hi, Cybertruck.
But now I get the sun.
Sorry.
Speaking of and there's a Mach-E on the right. Sorry, we're just doing sightseeing and you can't see any of this stuff.
Is that Glacier Gray?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. That didn't seem space white. Yeah, don't mind us sightseeing. You do it. Is that person just going to drive?
They're just going to drive in the middle. And this guy is going to go up and honk at them. Yep.
Sorry. Sightseeing, talking to other cars, like you do.
Trying to think about any of the questions that people have asked about this car over the past year. Mostly it's like, how do we like it? Is it still fine or whatever? And it's, that's the main thing. There's the Cybertruck.
There's the Cybertruck. Hi. Look, we're electric too. Both fine electric options.
Yeah.
Used EVs. If you can get any of the used EV tax credit, that's amazing. Something like this is just so great. If you don't have a huge commute, if you have home charging, it's just always unlimited range. I know we've said that before. It's unlimited range because I will just be like, I think I'm going to drive the Leaf tomorrow, and then I'll plug it in overnight, or I'll plug it in a bit in the morning, and that's it. It's full. It's just always unlimited.
And even the fact that like we keep the Mach-E in the garage and generally leave this parked outside, it's been just sort of like, well, let's run to the grocery store, and it's like, well, let's just take the Leaf because it's already out and everything. Charging has been fine now that the level 2's been fixed. Of course, we can just charge at home. We were going to do some stuff of like try to only charge when the sun is out, but it doesn't necessarily financially pay.
Because we have solar.
We can, a lot of times we were just charging it using the 110, and it does take longer and there's more losses using that.
Yeah, I should have specified. That's typically what I plug in because it's not like getting that much range.
Probably the bad part about this, and this is something I didn't think about, and hopefully Kyle doesn't mind too much, but you generally don't want to leave your battery at a really high state of charge for long, like daily basis or long periods of time. We ended up leaving this at a high state of charge way more often than the Mach-E, and that's because with the Mach-E I can leave it at like 60% and I still have quite a bit of range.
Yeah.
With this, it's sort of like we need to leave it at a high state of charge in case we do want to go 15 miles away.
And the one day that we didn't, we were like, we need to stop. We need to leave it at like, 10 miles of range or whatever. Kyle was driving the Taycan down from LA, and Alyssa was like, wouldn't it be fun if you guys pulled up in the Leaf next to us on the highway? So we plugged it in and we were trying to charge fast enough, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
So
it was like a secret range test that he was doing that wasn't an official range test. I know he has the video out months ago about that, but it was hilarious. And I was like,
the one day
we could get down there potentially, but we would probably kill the battery just accelerating to get onto the freeway to catch up with him doing the range test. So,
that is another thing. We don't really drive this on the freeway, because by the time you get to the freeway, you probably lost like 10 miles of range. So, just don't really push it that hard and lose a ton of range. Now we're at 33 miles.
We've gone a lot. Yeah, you see, so that's what I was talking about. Like it drops initially, and then it like that 36 to 31 is like really, really slow. And even all the way down to, I think the lowest we've gotten home is like 6 or 7.
Which is crazy. If you think of that on the Mach-E, what percent is that?
I mean, that's over 10%. It's like 12, 14% of the charge of this. But in the Mach-E, that's 1 or 2%.
Right. Like,
or 2%.
Say that. Arrive home at 1%. That's a Kyle thing.
Yeah. But we also don't really, like, we sort of know, like, the way we come back to the house, we're coming downhill.
Yeah.
So we're good. Like, we know we're good. We know that as soon as we leave the house, we'll lose a whole ton of range. But anyways.
Why don't we go park and take you for a look on the outside?
Yeah, nothing's changed. Spoiler alert.
A little. And here we are in downtown Oceanside. It is summer in San Diego, Oceanside, so it was very hard to find a spot. Obviously, there's a ton of parking here, but with the Leaf, you really don't have to worry that much. It's so petite, like Patrick said. It's easy to find a parking anywhere. And we're kind of tickled that we're underneath the Oceanside sign. We're surrounded by birds and seals and seals or seal lions.
I don't know
seal
the difference.
Lions. That one looks like a lion. They're very good. So we're here, and I'm really gonna miss our harbor journeys because it seems like we came here with Jordan. We've come here too. It's a picturesque spot, and these birds are so funny. Oh, I hope you guys can hear that.
We're gonna get some B-roll of that because that's just
the
extra
funniest bird.
Funny stuff. But
yeah,
this is perfect example.
I'm gonna miss it.
15-minute drive, maybe 20. Head down to the harbor, get to enjoy the evening, the sunset, and
enjoy an electric drive with as old as it is, 12 years old. The wonderful instant electric torque with silence, with enough range for everything that we wanted. So it got us here. I'm gonna miss it. I know we can come here anytime with other EVs, but it's like, it's kind of a special spot to me. Also because like Jordan.
Coming down here with Jordan. Yeah. We'll give you a quick tour of the outside just to show you real quick. But then, that's about it. Just, we've had a lot of fun with it, and it's been great. And we'll give you some extra bonus birds and
birds and sea lions.
Yeah.
Sea lions.
Yeah, you'll have to identify them.
Yeah.
And correct
Tell us what those birds are.
I'll call that a pigeon, and then somebody can correct me because people would rather correct me.
It's definitely a swan. Yeah, that's true. I say it's a swan. It's like a chicken clearing their throat. Is that where Donald Duck came from?
Oh, right.
Yeah, I know. Oh, hi. Oh, buddy. You're the sweetest. I know, I think they're funny too. Don't run away. Oh, beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. We had, like Patrick said, grand aspirations on what we were going to do with the Leaf. Kyle gave us carte blanche, and we kind of did nothing because we just lived with it. We hopped in it. We went about our daily lives like you do.
And the only change is Kyle added the Colorado electric vehicle license plate.
Which is fun to have, and it's always a talking point out here. I love the Colorado electric vehicle license plate, by the way.
I'll show that to you.
But it's so nice. Actually, would love to see everyone else's plates. One, the customized plates, and two, the like electric plates. But I've always felt bad because it has a Ragnar race sticker, and we did not do Ragnar. So anyone who sees a car thinks that we're really hardcore.
In Pacific Northwest, and then I don't know what this one is, but I think it's a rock climbing one. But anyways,
I'd love to know the person who had this before.
As you guys know, we had the damage, or it had the damage when Kyle bought it, and we thought about pulling it out or something like that, and never got around to that either. But then up here in the front, our neighbor accidentally backed into it. So there's a little tiny bit of damage here. It's pushed in a little bit.
This is the one we were definitely gonna fix. But that's one of the things with a used car, and I'm sorry to say it, but a beater, is you don't mind if it has a ding, right? Like it's a beater. Can you see me? Is the light okay?
I'm gonna get a better angle. Okay, there we go.
There you go. So,
yeah, and when it happened, I texted Kyle a picture and was just sort of like, it's not that bad. What do you want to do? Because our neighbor was like, well, we'll make it right. And Kyle was just like, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah. One thing though, it's never gotten a name. So sad, but Kyle deserves to have his Leaf named. So we should name it before it is out of our possession and just tell him what the name is.
Ruby.
Ruby? All right, maybe. Votes for Ruby, vote down below. Give us your own name. I might think of something. We'll see what. Donald? No, because it sounds like Donald Duck.
It sounds like Donald Duck.
Yeah. All right, should we switch the angle so we're not staring at the sun? It's funny because we are now about to wrap up the video, and I find myself feeling emotional because this is the part where I normally go, well, this is it. This is our time with whatever. But I'm quite attached to this Leaf. I've had a really lovely time with it, and it's been great. So if you have a Leaf or a beloved old vehicle that you love to hear your stories. We truly appreciate Kyle, Out of Spec, for lending us this Leaf. It's been really, really awesome. I would happily have another equally beaten up used vehicle to.
That was going to be my question. We don't know. We may just deal with just having one car or whatever, but if we do go for a used car, like an old beater car, like what should we look at next, or what should we consider?
What are you interested in? Yeah.
i3, Fiat 500e, an old Bolt, an old Model 3. But they're not that old. They're only like 2018, so.
That's true, but older.
Yeah.
So that really, okay. If you're curious whether this is a good old car, it's great. Long-term test, I guess we call it a long-term test over a year. It's great. This, if this fulfills your mileage needs, this is really great. Doesn't have a whole bunch of storage. How is the back?
It's fun. We don't ever use
fine.
it. Yeah.
I think we stuck my dad in the back. Kyle is going to be doing a bunch of stuff with this. We know he's got some Chatamo stuff coming up. So if you want to see this Leaf, if you miss Ruby, Ruby? Yeah, I like it. Is it too obvious? Is it too on the nose?
Or we could find a Leaf.
We could find a Leaf. But if you miss this Leaf, you will see it. You will see Ruby. We'll try that for now. You'll see Ruby on Kyle's channel, I'm sure, and a whole bunch of his content. So go visit her over there on his channel, and hopefully we'll get to see her again soon.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he's getting the CCS to Chatamo adapter, which would make things a little bit nicer. So like if you go to EA, you're not waiting for the one Chatamo plug or hoping that it's actually working. So, but that's it. Really nice. Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go get fish and chips.
All right.
Or something.
That is our time with the Leaf. Ruby, name to be determined, whatever. Maybe we shall see her again. Thank you so much for joining us for this video with Ruby long term. A huge thank you to our patients. You're our patients, please no. Our patrons, whose names are scrolling across the screen right now. We truly, deeply appreciate you guys, as well as our YouTube members who have little lightning bolts next to their name. And just remember that whatever you drive, whether it's a Leaf, a Mach-E, or a boat, enjoy the ride. Bye.